Tere! Hello everyone! Welcome to Tartu, the intellectual capital of Estonia. We are Estonia to Eat iDream team. And we present Salsa Smile. No, not this salsa. Stop. Closer, but still not this. Have you ever wondered why you get accidental toothaches even though you brush your teeth regularly? Or why brushing your teeth isn't enough to give you a confident smile? This is because harmful bacteria can attach to the tooth surface, and if you don't brush your teeth properly, they stay there and start to form plaques. Poor dental health is a massive issue worldwide. According to the World Health Organization, around 2.3 billion people suffer from tooth decay caused by bacteria. Without good oral hygiene and proper toothbrushing, bacteria bind the human salsa protein on the teeth surface, forming a biofilm and producing acids that destroy teeth. We engineer a protease to target the salsa protein. We expect that cleaving salsa will remove bacteria even from areas that are hard to reach. This can make oral hygiene more efficient. Everyone, especially children and people with orthodontic cases, could use Salsa Smile alongside toothbrushing to improve their oral hygiene. The most common bacteria that causes caries is Streptococcus mutans that attach to the teeth through the salsa protein, forming biofilm. The salivary scavenger endagglutinin, or salsa, is an innate immune system protein with diverse functions. Salsa regulates inflammation, tissue repair, and immune response. The protein consists of several domain families. The most important for our project are multiple scavenger receptor cysteine reach (SRCR) domains that are separated by SRCR interspersed domains, or SIDs. They mediate both the salsa attachment to teeth and to bacteria. To eliminate the possibility of cariogenic bacteria for tooth attachment via salsa, we came up with an idea to remove the sites for bacterial binding via proteolytic cleavage of the protein. Since salsa is a part of the complement system, we discussed potential problems of targeting this protein with protease with Seppo Meri, professor of immunology at the University of Helsinki. According to Professor Meri, since bacteria form a biofilm to escape the complement system, our product has great potential to improve oral hygiene due to disrupting the bacterial biofilm, and it would be safe to use. At the next step, we searched for the best site to target. Despite SRCR domains mediating both the binding of salsa to the teeth and to bacteria, they are not good targets for proteolysis because of their folded structure, which is not accessible for the protease. The linkers, or SIDs, however, are unstructured and thus could potentially be easily cleaved. SIDs are roughly 20 amino acid long threonine serine proline reach stretches that contain several glycosylation sites, rendering the linkers to extend conformation to span 7 nanometers. To make sure we select the best site for proteolytic targeting of salsa, we contacted Dr. Martin Reichardt, a leading researcher on salsa protein. After the discussion, we were strengthened in our idea to use SIDs as targets, since they proved to be the accessible part of salsa. We got advice on what to target to cleave salsa, but there are no known enzymes that can do it in particular. Thus, we looked at possible options to engineer proteases with distinct specificity. Inspired by the Yeast2 hybrid system, we set up a novel yeast-based method that allows high-throughput screening of proteases based on their specificity for the desired target sequence. This system includes 3 transcriptional units. A protease, a reporter gene that inhibits the yeast cell cycle, Sig1 delta N. Its expression is activated by the synthetic transcription factor, and a synthetic transcription factor composed of DNA binding and activation domains, separated by a linker consisting of the SRCR-SID domain that is used as a protease substrate. If the protease is unable to cleave the linker, the transcription factor initiates a Sig1 delta N expression that leads to cell cycle arrest and stops yeast growth. If the protease cuts this linker, the activation and binding domains of the transcription factor dissociate and expression of the cell cycle inhibitor is suppressed. This allows yeast to grow and, importantly, enables positive selection of proteases that are efficient in targeting the desired sequence. Normal cell growth serves as an indicator of the high proteolytic activity of the proteases. To further increase the specificity of SALSA targeting by a protease, we implemented docking interaction principles. Previous studies have identified a peptide from Streptococcus mutans that binds the SRCR domains. We've used this peptide to the protease to enhance targeting of SALSA via increased local concentration driven by the docking interaction. Therefore, we developed a simple assay in yeast to screen for proteases that cleave the desired sequence. Combined with deep mutational screening or directed evolution, this could be a powerful tool to engineer and study proteases. It can be used for at least two purposes. First, to map the specificity determinants of different proteases. To do so, a researcher should introduce the library of potential cleavage sequences as the linker sequence between the DNA binding and activation domains of the transcription factor. Since the transcription factor is expressed in parallel with the proteases of interest, the cleavage efficiency is translated to the yeast growth rate. The protease specificity determinants can then be obtained by deep sequencing the linker region after a competitive growth assay. Secondly, as in our project, this technique can help to engineer proteases that cleave the desired sequence. For that, we can apply either random mutagenesis or rational design to obtain the candidate proteases, and then, using the competitive growth assay, find the most efficient enzyme in cutting the desired sequence. Alternatively, a library of various proteases can be used to screen for the best enzyme to cleave the linker. We used several in silico approaches to find candidate proteases and to estimate their potential in different aspects of the project. First, we applied multiple sequence alignment to find similarities between the repetitive domains in SALSA. We also analyzed the domain sequences to classify the residues as hidden from or exposed to the solvent and proteases. With this information, we then screened the databases for the proteases according to the sequence they target. From this research, we have selected trypsin and prolyl peptidase as the main candidate proteases. Trypsin cleaves the peptide bonds C-terminally of lysines and arginines. Prolyl peptidase cleaves C-terminally of prolines that are very abundant in the SID sequences. We analyzed candidates for their effectiveness based on Michaelis-Menten kinetics. After finding the necessary constants, we created several systems of ordinary differential equations to analyze the SALSA concentration oscillations in the mouth, to stimulate the action of the candidate proteases, to model the proteases neutralization and diffusion in the saliva. The model of SALSA fluctuations in the oral cavity allowed us to analyze the accumulation and oscillation of protein levels after removal of SALSA by tooth brushing. We then modeled the degradation of the estimated equilibrium concentration of SALSA to find the effective concentration of each protease from the three main candidates: human trypsin, Atlantic cod trypsin, and prolyl peptidase. Atlantic cod trypsin showed the most promising results as it requires the lowest enzyme concentration to degrade SALSA. In order to decrease possible side effects of the proteases, we found a non-toxic way to inactivate trypsin with an inhibitor. As genetic constants were only available for the inhibitor of human trypsin 2, alpha-1 antitrypsin, we plotted its impact on the activity of trypsin and the elimination of trypsin due to swallowing. This enables limiting the protease activity to a short time window, sufficient to cleave SALSA. Our protease engineering method potentially allows simultaneous screening of the enzyme's activity towards the target sequence and its activity towards essential cellular proteins. Overexpression of a protease with high activity and broad specificity is expected to have a negative effect on cell growth due to the cleavage of cellular proteins. This would result in these cells gradually dropping out in the competitive growth assay. As our control enzyme for the test system, we have selected a highly sequence-specific TAV protease. As a proof of principle, we introduced the TAV cleavage site to the transcription factor linker. If the cleavage does not occur, we are notified that the problem lies in the assay design, but not in the inability of the protease to cut the linker. To control the expression of the protease, we cloned TEF protease in a vector with GAL1 promoter that is inactive in the glucose-containing medium, but highly expressed in the galactose-containing medium. The TEF expression plasmid was transformed to yeast, and the effect of the protease expression on cell viability was studied by comparing the yeast growth in the presence or absence of galactose. The assay showed that overexpression of TEF protease does not cause a growth defect. The slightly faster growth rate on the glucose-containing plate is due to yeast's preference for glucose over galactose as a carbon source. Due to the high specificity of TEF protease, this result could be expected, but it is a critical step in the high-throughput screening process involving proteases with very different substrate specificities. Next, we tested the inhibition of yeast growth by inducing the expression of Syk1 delta N. Syk1 is an inhibitor of cell cycle progression, and its degradation through phosphorylation of the N-terminus enables cells to enter S phase. Previous studies have found that stabilization of Syk1 by mutation of the phosphorylation sites causes a delay in cell cycle. We first tested whether Syk1, where the N-terminus has been removed, Syk1 delta N, is capable of triggering cell cycle arrest. For this, we cloned the coding sequence for the C-terminus of Syk1 to an expression vector with a laxase-dependent promoter, and transformed it to yeast. We induced the overexpression of Syk1 delta N, which resulted in inhibition of yeast growth. Therefore, using Syk1 delta N as a reporter gene allows to translate the activity of the transcription factor to growth rate. This indicates that the setup can also be used to monitor the level of the transcription factor, enabling us to use it as a quantitative readout for the protease activity towards the transcription factor. We thoroughly modeled, designed, and engineered the core aspects of our project. SALSA was found to be a promising target to prevent bacterial accumulation on the teeth surface. Based on safety and specificity, we chose trypsin and prolyl peptidase as the main candidates for further engineering to target SALSA. We developed a novel method to engineer proteases with distinct specificity. We will implement our protease engineering assay by creating a library of protease mutants using error-prone PCR to find enzymes with altered specificity to obtain a protease that is optimal for cutting SALSA. The result of our project can be used both in research involving proteases and to develop a novel product of oral hygiene. Throughout the season, we looked for input from the public, dentists, and scientists to include different expertise in our project design. We pitched our project during the July Gym online conference and received valuable feedback, such as taking into account the effect of environmental conditions on protease activity, for example, pH, which we implemented into our project. Additionally, we got the suggestion to collect public opinion and to contact experts in the field. To create the survey, we contacted experts Yelena Rybakova from Taltech and Lily Abuladze from Tallinn University for consultation. As the outcome, we put together two different surveys, one for general public and one for dentists, which were reliable, unbiased, and information-rich. Besides surveys, we interviewed dentists, and they confirmed the need for our product and brought forward its potential uses in everyday life and professional field. Public and dentist survey results, as well as interviews with dentists, indicated that the final product should be in liquid form. For more comfortable use of it, we designed a portable device, Papik, protease-assured plaque internal cleaner. The SALSA Smile delivery system consists of two compartments with two separate spray heads and caps to store proteases and its inhibitors in separate containers to be mixed in the patient's oral cavity. We also had to solve the problem of storing the protease, as enzymes have to be stored at low temperatures to prevent autolysis. We proposed the following setup. The protease and its inhibitor are kept in bigger bottles, stored at low temperature in the fridge, and used to refill small portable device, Papik. This packing allows the consumer to carry a small amount of the protease that can be used before the protease degrades. Since Papik is refillable, this distribution scheme is also beneficial to the environment. Our team dedicated a lot of energy towards public engagement. It is important to help to fill the gap between science and society, So, we introduced science to general public, promoted our project and synthetic biology in general among a wider audience. Throughout the year, we organized workshops, scientific art exhibition, escape room, participated in many scientific fairs, and introduced the fundamental principles of synthetic biology to a wide audience of all ages. We played puzzle games, and through that, every participant learned about the DNA complementary principle. We created beautiful paper flowers, and participants learned the basics of chromatography. We extracted DNA from kiwi, and people saw DNA with an unaided eye. We demonstrated the fascinating oscillating chemical reactions in our so-called traffic light workshop. We extracted pigments from plant leaves and taught the principles of solubility to workshop visitors. Our workshops are interactive, easy to follow, visually appealing, and memorable. They are meant for everyone and aim to educate and encourage people to study science. To engage a multilingual audience with our scientific events, we have prepared protocols in 3 languages: English, Estonian, and Russian, since the language barrier should not be a problem when studying science. In addition, this year, we traveled around Estonia and participated in a variety of scientific and public events in Paide, Viru, Narva, Tartu. We engaged people of different backgrounds and ages, and it was so nice to see them enjoying our workshops. Our public engagement culminated at an already traditional interactive education event, scientific art exhibition, and escape room, with workshops and Kahoot quizzes. In our scientific escape room, participants learned about our project while trying to escape from the dentist's office. We even made an online interactive version of the escape room, so more people could learn from it. You can find it on our Wiki Education page. We demonstrated our postcard collection, the result of multi-year collaboration with Team Dusseldorf, and showed artistic images of lab work. Visitors dove into science, enthusiastically participated in the workshops, and had a lot of fun playing Kahoot quizzes. Besides participating in and organizing public events, we collaborated with many teams this year, filled the surveys, participated in Instagram challenges, translated books, scripts, and posters, shot videos and TikToks, presented ideas, took photos, and interviews. Taking part in online conferences organized by different iGEM teams were of significant value. We received experts' feedback and explored the business opportunities of our project. So, over the iGEM season, the productive relationships with different teams and local communities were built, feedback collected from the public and experts, which were implemented into the project. It was a fantastic and exciting journey from generating the project ideas to implementing them in silico, conducting experiments to achieve our goal, and dedicating our entire selves to science, regularly communicating with the public, organizing interactive educational events, and building a strong team spirit, thus becoming a true iGEM family. During this dream-fulfilling project, we set out to engineer a protease for cleaving salsa protein that should disturb bacterial biofilm formation on the teeth surface. Driven by consultations with the experts in the field, as the next step, we developed the detailed design of our final product and created POPIC. Moreover, we developed a novel method to engineer the proteases with distinct specificity that can be used by researchers. None of this would be possible without the team and all people who helped us along the season. We want to thank everyone who contributed to the project, team, and our sponsors. Also, we appreciate Professor Mart Logg's lab for providing laboratory facility, equipment, reagents, and expertise.